So I hope you're all fresh and you learned something today. I think I will do the freestyle. I don't like being on a speaker forum. Okay, I'm honored to give you the first time the presentation for Lao Tobacco MBU implementation. As Mr. Sin already explained, he's our CDI consultant. I think the idea is if there's any questions or answers, I think we can do in between, so I'm quite comfortable with that one. However, I think I will hopefully answer most of your questions in the next 30-35 minutes. And of course, I have a very cheeky title called The Smiling Elephants, and I will show you what it means, in terms of MBU. Okay, let's see how this works. Would be the normal way. Okay, a little bit the journey. So first of all, a bit of background. So basically what our company is doing. Also then what we did in terms of MBU, in terms of the steps. Also some results, because especially Imperial Tobacco is always very keen on results and achievements. And the last step is also some best practice sharing. And hopefully I can give you some nice ideas about what you can do in your factory or in your organization. And also give you some trigger for ideas, basically. First of all, Laos. Where's Laos? Laos is in Asia, and I think you see the small world map. It's basically a landlocked country between Vietnam, Thailand, China, Myanmar, and Cambodia. So we have no port, no beach, unfortunately, like in other countries. And we are based in the capital, Vientiane, which is right in the middle of the country. It's about 800,000 people. Our business is very diverse. We actually do have tobacco growing. We also have the processing, as well as we have the full production, and we have sales and marketing. So we are completely integrated, basically, business, and don't have so much import or export, which is also quite unique in the period. A little bit of history. It's quite a company with some history. It started in '57 actually, and then was a Chinese businessman was building like some part of the factory. And very important is basically in 2001, the Imperial Tobacco made a joint venture with the company, with the government of Laos. So we are a joint venture between government of Laos, Imperial Tobacco Group, and a private business in Vientiane. And after that, really, we started to, build the building, get machinery in, get the people in. As you can see, also we did the certification for ISO, for environment, and for OHSE. I think most of the non-Imperial people went yesterday to the site, so I hope you know a little bit about Imperial Tobacco. But just as a small reminder, so currently we are the 4th largest international tobacco company, more than 30,000 people, and actually we are the market leader in cigars. Not in cigarettes, but in cigars. I'm very proud of that. So we are a huge company, and the MBU really started about 2 years ago, really in Asia, as part of our old Africa-Asia region. So that's why we are at the forefront of MBU. Whereas my colleagues in Europe, I think they try to understand, what's needed and what we can do. And up until 2014, actually, we never really had any idea about what is lean or what is CI even means. So we started with the Operational Excellence Program in 2014, followed by MBU, basically just in last year, 2016. This is a chart what we do. So we have the growing part, we have the processing, we have the cigarette factory, and we have the whole sales and marketing part. We are currently number 1 in Laos, about 70% market share, so way ahead of any other competitor. We also sell to 65 wholesalers. So currently we are the 3rd largest contributor of revenue to the government of Laos. Number 1 is funnily like gold or mining. Number 2 is beer, and number 3 is cigarettes. So it's a perfect combination. And we have about 400 people. In summer it's way more, it's about 600, because we have the leaf processing part. For you also to understand the MBU, we just implemented in this part, so the cigarette factory. So we didn't implement this in growing, because these are the leaf technicians going from field to field, and also not yet in sales and marketing, because also it's a lot of sales people. So currently what we have is basically experience in the second part of the cigarette factory. This is our journey. So started in September 2014 with the Operation Excellence program, which was a very fast program by Imperial to implement it in 9 months. So basically when I joined Lao Tobacco, so I moved from the Taiwan factory. I just started exactly that month with OEP, followed by what we call the sustainability phase. So it's another 10 months after the MBU, after the OEP, to see where you are. CI Champions is a program that we implemented in Laos specifically. It's for specialists to focus on what we call the green belt. So people who are capable with CI tools can do a project and also understand what is about continuous improvement. The MBU we started in last year, and of course long term we want to go to lean or Kaizen mentality mindset. This is basically a small roadmap for 1.5 years of MBU. It's very small, but basically it consists of 3 parts. The first one is we have to get the people, the leadership on board to really believe into it and to drive your team. If the leadership doesn't believe into it, your team will not follow. It will not be very successful. But if you as a leader, you believe it, you will show it and you take it seriously, it's very easy to implement because it all will go down to your team. Second phase is just to implement the core of the program, which is basically the MBU 1, 2, and 3, to make sure they're aligned. And also get the 5S in place, the visual workplace. And the last part is basically start with multi-level meeting, so to make sure you share your ideas across the business, as well as what we call coaching leadership. You see 2 red frames. This is basically what we are currently doing. One is engaging leadership to make sure, how do we actually deal as a team together. And the other part is the 5S. We just started basically this summer. Still have 2 ways to go, but it's quite good. The organization is, so in Laos, for the cigarette factory, is about 180 people. And we did 21 MBU1 teams, consisting of about 3 people to, I think the most is about 10 or so. And what we did is, for these 21 MBUs, we appointed champions to say, you are responsible, it's your development, and you are the key contact person for each MBU. So at the bottom you have what we call the MBU champions, and these are usually people with high potentials. So you take people who are smart, who are engaged, who know how to talk with people, and they are the ones who support the 21 teams. Most teams are in production, so all this is around what we call the making and packing process. The other ones are support functions like HR, engineering, boiler, utility, finance, to support basically all the MBU teams. Then we kicked off in May last year, May 2016. So first thing we did is to create a town hall meeting. So a town hall meeting, basically we asked everybody to join to the factory, explain them what is MBU, explain them the steps, and also make sure what expects them. And also, it's not a project. It's not a project. It's basically a running program which can go on for, I think I see a title called 10 years MBU already. It should be one of the last presentations. So it goes on forever. It's not just a project which will start and then finish and then I go home. No, it's basically there all the time. And this is the key difference to the Operational Excellence program, which we did before 2 years. VUCA background I explain in a minute. And basically also just gives them a flavor of what will expected, what is happening, and just to prepare them step by step. Okay, VUCA. What is VUCA? So I think it was about 4 years ago, our CEO, Alison Cooper, talked about VUCA for the first time for the leadership team in the period. And it was the first time I heard VUCA. And actually VUCA apparently comes from the 1990s, when it was developed by the military university in America to talk about uncertain situations in the world. And VUCA basically means, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And even now, in more and more companies, I do hear the VUCA, word around. It basically means there's a big disruption in the market. The industries are changing. For our cigarettes business, we are overwhelmed by what we call new generation products. Other industries, like the car companies, the Uber, artificial intelligence. Everything is, very disrupted, and everything is in place. Digitalization, so many items. So this VUCA word is a very fashionable word now used actually by many companies. Okay, this chart I hope is familiar to most of you, at least the ones who implemented MBU. This is one of the key charts I think you get from our CDI friends right from the beginning. Basically, just to remind you, is we have the 5 steps of engagement. The first one starts with yourself. What about my bonus? The next step is the we. What about my department? My annual performance of my team. The third step is organization. How is my factory doing? How is my entity doing? And the fourth one is, what does actually the customer want? What do they actually are willing to pay? And last but not least, it's the purpose. Purpose, of course, very difficult to achieve. Purpose is the ultimate goal, and this is very difficult to achieve, but this is the end goal basically. So why do you want to do MBU? Basically for the company's employees to come to work and to say, yes, I have a certain purpose. I'm not there just to get my money and I'm off. No, it's a meaningful job to myself. So what we did then first is, how do we get this purpose? So first I organized one day for a team building. So all my direct reports, so my head of departments, and the next level hierarchies, which are the shift supervisors. We organized a workshop to say, what is actually our purpose? What we want to achieve. So we sit together in a hotel, and we had a coach to support us, to come up with a structured program to say, do some brainstorming, put in some ideas, what do you want to achieve? Basically a process to come up with ideas, to filter it to the key parts, and then to come up with a committed and agreed version to see where do you want to be long term. And for Laos, we did it I think last year, it was around October, so about a year ago. Basically our mission and our vision, the vision actually is very short. It's called Leading Laos in Manufacturing Excellence. And funnily enough, when I have visitors from other factories inside Laos, not from the world, coming to us, they're really saying like, whoa, this looks so clean, so organized, so effective. So actually I would say we are probably there currently, even to the other companies who are in Laos. So they're always surprised to come and see how effective it is. Then the mission is the usual things. Okay, make sure you have quality products. Make sure you have your demand. Make sure you do it through lean practices. Safety, very important. And also maximizing stakeholder returns. And it doesn't say shareholder returns, which means a shareholder, it means stakeholder, which means yourself, because you have a salary. Another stakeholder is like the government of Laos for tax return. Another stakeholder is the family of your employees. So it means everybody, not just the shareholder, no, the stakeholder. Okay, the next chart will disclose the secret of the smiling elephants. Because, this presentation is about the power of smiling elephants. And why about elephants? We talk about MBU. And the reason is, in most factories, you see a certain visual element with smileys, you know, a happy, nice yellow smiley to say perfect. Then you see a very sad red smiley to say, ooh, something's going wrong, so you have to look something. But then my people from Laos said, it's a little bit boring, you know, we need something more refreshing, something new, something creative. And I said, why not talk about elephants? Why elephants? Because elephants is like a national symbol of Laos. Actually, Laos was apparently the land of the million elephants a long time ago. As you know, they have probably 100 left or something. And what they came up with is, it's a very, very easy visual system. So what they say is, if you are in line, so you hit the green line, basically happy smiley, it's an elephant truck up, smiling. If it's a red smiley, say, oh, you're behind, it's a crying elephant, trunk down. You know, it was quite funny, I said, why not? You know, the creativity is unlimited. So, local cultural influence identification. When you do MBU, be a bit more fun. Don't be so strict and copy and paste. Come up with your own ideas, you know. And I love it, even our visitors. So my regional director, Slavek, he came last month to Laos. It's a brilliant idea, you know. It's a very easy visual system, and it's something different than the normal smiley system, you know. Okay, how do you get leadership engagement? Because that is the first step to persuade your people that you are really on board and you want to show it. Another idea I want to present to you is called Listen to Learn program, or L2L. This program we developed last year. It's kind of, the little trigger was the Operation Excellence program before, but we redefined it to something called Listen to Learn. So what is Listen to Learn? Basically, I don't know if you know the show, it's called Undercover Boss. Undercover Boss is where usually the CEO or another boss, he secretly goes to his company for a week and then does a different job every day. You know, in disguise with some mustache and you know, some fake hair and get a big belly and something. But we don't want to do it you know, undercover, we do it openly. So basically we said, you know, I myself and my direct people, they pick a job, and currently we have 14 different jobs, ranging from logistics people, to quality operator, to machine operator, to QA inspector, sales merchandiser even. So what you do is you work one day in their job. So basically you get the safety equipment. Yes, you do get a small safety introduction. We don't allow people to go on the machine, you know, running it, very dangerous, but we ask them to do like a simple job. And basically what you do is you start the whole day doing the job openly. And you get a nice orange shirt, so everybody will see you very easily. So we want to make it very purposeful. And basically see how it feels to the job of an operator. And I don't know if you know Aon Hewitt, but Aon Hewitt is a very important management consultancy. And they, for example, do the engagement for the Imperial Group every 2 years roughly. Basically, they also said there's like 4 elements where you want to have the leadership commitment. The first one is basically contact. Contact means you are visible to people. You're not just sitting in your office, in your ivory tower and doing some paperwork. No, you have to be in contact with them daily. Credibility, goals, and people focus. And what we discovered is that this Listen to Learn tour is actually exactly fulfilling these 4 elements. So these are some examples of my leadership team. So for example, this is my operations manager. He's in charge of production and engineering. So he sits and he's reclaiming cigarettes. So he sits there and opens cigarette all day long just to get the cigarettes out. This is my factory controller, Patana. She works in the warehouse, you know, like shifting master cases all day long in the warehouse. Myself working on a maker machine, because we have a very old maker machine in Laos, so you need like an elephant trunk, blink blink, elephant, to get the tobacco. Or my CI manager, Sombat. So he's my CI manager. He actually worked in the sales department full day, go from merchandiser to merchandiser. And the best part is my boss, Jack Chen, so the lead factory manager of Taiwan, he actually came down a full day to work on my packer machine, to really sweat, and he also enjoyed it. And when you do this, your people will see you, and it's not just a show, it's really they see you sweating, you feel uncomfortable, you're standing all day in your safety shoes, it's hard work, I tell you, But the people will be amazed to see, wow, your boss comes down and actually helps the people. So after we did this for about 1.5 years, the engagement will be amazing, and you really get respect of your people. It doesn't really cost you a lot, so what we do is, we do a board. So basically it started with myself and my direct reports. Now we did extend this to shift supervisor. We say, okay, you got 6 months. Here you got your 14 jobs. So from all kinds of jobs. Pick your job and put it in the months where you want to do. You're also quite sneaky then. If you do your job, you get a nice fat green tick to say done. If you don't have done it, you get a big red X. And nobody wants the X really, So what I asked them is, it's not mandatory, it's voluntary. So I told them I would encourage you to do it. And also it would be nice to do it every 3 or 4 months, so about 3 times per year. I don't want to be every month 1 day, but also once per year is a little bit, not enough. And of course, what you do is, you can come early to the job, you can do your emails an hour, then you work here 7 hours or 8 hours, and then you can finish. And this is quite unique, I think, even in the period, this called Listen to Learn program. But gives you some idea, what you can do is for leadership expectation. Okay, MBU rollout. So when we started MBUs last year, first thing is you have to train your trainers and coaches, so the champions. And the champions then will teach all your operators and the people of the MBUs to understand. Best practice from Taiwan. We had the luxury that our Taiwan factory was ahead of us, I think about a year or so, roughly. So we could learn from the Taiwan factory. And also we have a lean master coach, Dek. Hello Dek, maybe raise your hand. So Dek, he supports us a lot to roll out MBU. And he takes the learning from Taiwan to support us. Goal alignment, very important. So make sure that your horizontal and your vertical goals are aligned. So basically you ask an operator to see what is the factory target, and they can answer, yes, I want 1,500 near misses per year. And also to say, okay, if the production has an issue, I would like engineering to support me within 30 minutes to fix my machine, and not to wait just, like a day until it's fixed and my OEE is down. And this mentoring is very, very important. Okay, some pictures of the MBUs. First thing is MBU 1. So basically every day, every MBU is doing 8 minutes meeting, short and sharp, and they stick to it. We do coach and support the MBU 1. Also myself and my leadership teams, all my direct managers actually every day go to the shop floor and observe and support them. So it's not just there on their own and you do your 8-minute meeting, no. When I go to the morning, I see my quality manager supporting packer unit. I see my engineering manager supporting HR. I see supply chain manager looking after other ones. And this also was a key learning from the Taiwan factory. You need the leadership commitment. Otherwise, they don't take it seriously. And it's a bit like this listen to learn. The respect will grow. They really open up to you and will say, okay, I need maybe I have some issue here, I want to cascade to you. So it's a distance between leaders and operators will reduce. This is the Packer MBU meeting. So this is Laos factory. Luckily, we have the luxury of some kind of free space on the walls because you need some space for the visual management. So they discuss the 8 minutes. Another one is engineering. Also very clear, the visual management, so you can see what's happening. They can discuss any issues. Next step is level 2 meeting, MBU 2 meeting. We basically meet every day for 25 minutes. It's close to our production. It's basically cross-functional, so you have from supply chain, from HR, from technical, from production. All the production MBUs send their people to discuss their results. So we have one big board where you can see every single machine, what's the performance doing. If they need some support, which they couldn't solve in level 1 or MBU 1 meeting, because our idea is you solve it first. If you cannot do it, you have to escalate this up to level 2. So what we do is, if they cannot solve it in level 1, they escalate this to this level. We have a clear action board to see when do you want to finish this. Do you want to do it short term or long term? We have the traditional traffic light system to see any issues with deadlines, or do we need other support? And we also have Kaizen projects there, so any big ideas, which usually run over some months or sometimes even a year, we also visually show there. For example, you have a new tobacco reclaimer machine coming. So, okay, what is the cost? What is the benefit? When is it arriving? And do we do a Kaizen project with that? So this is very useful. So level 2, quite happy. They look at these quite relaxed. I usually be 1 or 2 times per week. I don't attend daily. In the beginning, yes, but now I'm very comfortable. At least once per week I join, sometimes twice. But usually they're very, very experienced. If there are any issues, it goes to the next level, level 3 anyway. And of course, my Lao language not very good, and it's in local language. But if there's really any issues, they can switch to English, then escalate to me to say, oh, we need some support from the OEM producer for any spare parts, or something for the whole site, where they need me. But usually it's a very effective meeting, and it's across the whole site, from facility, infrastructure, quality, production. Then we have the MBU 3 meeting, which is once per week. So once per week is basically my direct reports. What we do is, we do this usually for 20 minutes. So we have our action board. After the 20 minutes, we also discuss issues that are, we call strategic, or that are not operational. Because don't forget, we also have like leaf growing in our site. So things which are not really covered by MBU, but we still have to discuss as a team in terms of investment or issues. Again, action points, very clearly captured here. So you see what is the issue, when is the deadline, the traffic light system, are we on okay? So yellow basically we are in line, red means it's beyond the deadline, and green means, I think there's a green here, it's actually red, means it's been done. And after you finish the done one, you just take it off. It's a very nice visual system. No need to type in the computer, print in color, take it out, nobody reads it. So I love this system. It's very visual, it's very easy, and you just have to do it once properly, and you don't really have to use the computer. And for me, I just love this, this concept. Because before we had this action point, meeting notes, somebody types it in, somebody prints it out, somebody gives it to somebody. No, you don't need it. All you need is a nice visual board, a lot of pens, and a very easy system. However, what we do, yes, question, number 1, first prize.
So do you also measure the performance of that board, or so do you visualize on a monthly or yearly basis how the performance of the level 3 is, or you erase it after it's done and then it's gone?
Okay, what we do is, because we started last year, normally we show the annual performance, so you see the 12 months here. When we finish the whole 12 months, we take a picture for evidence, and then we take off the first 6 months. So we take off the first 6 months, we leave the last 6 months, and then we start again with the next 6 months. So all you have is basically we start with our fiscal year, which is October, but you can say January to December. You start January to December. Once you finish December, you take off January to June, and then you start again with January, and then you do a rolling 6 months forecast. But what we do is, you're right, once per year, in order just to capture our performance, we actually do take a picture and just put it as evidence, basically. The other part is, Imperial is doing something called Central KPI Reporting, CKR. We also have to capture this also now on an online system, but just type it in, basically. So it is possible to get it. Okay? So, level 3 meeting. This is my lovely war room, I call it. So these are my direct reports. This lady, by the way, is our quality manager. She just joined 3 months ago, and within like 2 months, she immediately got it. She knows the sequence. She's very confident to present about our quality charts. So even if you have new managers, I'm quite amazed how fast they learn, the system. So you don't need a year implementation or a lot of ones to just attend, 1 or 2 months, they're ready basically, they know exactly what is done. Next step, the multi-level meeting, MLM. So the first multi-level meeting we did conduct in January this year. Basically what we do is, you can see it's literally on the shop floor. So we take off all what we call the trolleys, the good trolleys, put in all the chairs. And they're doing this very fast, put in like 200 chairs. We installed a nice big whiteboard, which you can roll down. It's currently monthly organized. Next year, I think we will want to go to 2 monthly. So once you got your frequency right, and you got used to it. But currently this year we do it every month. Because we have 21 MBU teams, we ask half of them to present. And exactly the same as your level 1 meeting, so you have 8 minutes to present. So it's basically 1.5 hours. The second month you got the other half presenting. So you basically, as MBU team, you have 1 month you prepare, then 1 month you not have a rest, you can enjoy, and the second month you can present again. What they do is basically you got 8 minutes to show us their success. So to say, what are you proud of? What did you achieve the last 2 months? And basically they show us, the quality targets, the cost, the speed, the safety, and very, very important is the ideas. So now for a few months we have basically, what is your best idea in the last 6 months? And you will see later they submit a lot of ideas, but we want to have the best idea basically. And what we do is we reward the best idea. So every time we have a meeting before that, so with my team, to go through the ideas and have certain criteria. And very, very important is recognize success. Because you do all this work, you prepare it, you're proud to present, but you also have to recognize success. So basically what we do is we do a best prize for safety, to say this team reported the best near misses or the most near misses. So they get like usually a nice basket of some goodies, some tea, some food, and they just love it, they want to compete for it. Best OEE, overall equipment efficiency or waste, and very important, the best idea. And the best idea basically is like 5 criteria to say how original was it? Was it just a copy? Was it very original? Can you employ it just on one single area, or you can employ it across the whole factory? The cost saving, is it big cost saving or just a small one? And what else? So we have certain criteria to assess the uniqueness. Or for example, a new one which we just installed a few months ago, show us the savings. How did you calculate savings? Because some people say, oh, we have big results, but they actually couldn't quantify it really. So we said, what is the quality of your savings? Is it hours? Is it waste? Is it kilogram? And then how transparent is it? And the best prizes, it was this year, is actually we did buy a motorbike for our colleagues. This was for a special safety campaign. We only did it once per year, but it was a huge success because everybody wanted this motorbike. So they found many near misses for safety. And out of this we did a lottery, checked the best prize. But it was a nice success because you got really the people to focus on safety and to make sure, you know, that they do get some ideas. Okay, another important part is coaching review. I think one of the key parts for MBU is that you have to do a regular coaching, because the coaching reminds you of about 10 items that you have to check with your team. So basically, what you have to do is to go through this list of coaching and say, are you really a professional, or are you just a starter, or it's not even there? So basically, I think this will be one of the tools which will go on for a long time. So it will, I think it's actually will go on forever. Because the coaching is just to remind your team to see where are you and to make sure you maintain or even improve your level. So basically it's all our teams, so 21 teams, including level 2 somewhere. Then we have certain points to say is not available, it's red, which means 0 points. There's some elements available as 1. It's installed, it's like a green. And once you have it installed for a few months, you get like a silver point to say it's sustained. And even there's something called the gold point. And gold point is, you can do it, I think, once per year, which is a very fantastic achievement. And for me, as you see again, our months, so this is our imperial fiscal year starting from October to September. I can see exactly the performance of each team. And also I see where there's some weaknesses. For example, this team is secondary. Is one machine went actually back to orange status. And what is happening is to say, oh, there were maybe some people left, so we had new people coming in, so we had to teach them. So what is happening is you have to give some extra support to this team. For example, ask my CI manager then, okay, please have a look, what is, how can we support them to make sure they go back to green. And the last status is like even silver status is even better. Okay, some results. So, when we did install MBU, I basically looked at a bit of history to say what happened when we finished the first OEP program, which was from October 2014 to June 2015. Just to give you an idea, so we had about 47 near misses per month on average to report, so any safety concerns. After our program, the sustainable phase not bad, 59 near misses. But once you start the MBU, sneakily we have like a target to say, oh, you have to report just 1 near miss per week per MBU. And suddenly people actually, they really realize, oh, if I don't get it, I get a red, so I get some problems. So they really start to think about safety and look in the areas and start to report. And you see a massive increase. So since May last year, I have now a fantastic 167 near misses per month. So basically my employees, everyone has 1 near miss per month. And our target, I think, for Imperial was something like 3 near misses per year or something as a kind of comparison. No, actually we do 1 near miss per person per month. So it's way better than what we had before. So we have a safety sharing every MBU meeting. We have excellent results. This year we have 2,100 near misses, which is a fantastic number. Very good engagement, but I have to say some caution that just try to find a near miss, you also have to look at the quality of near miss. Because if somebody says, oh, I don't like this color, it's dangerous, no, it's not. You have to be, it has to be a real near miss, like a nail or some dangerous situation. So what we want to do is next year actually to look at the quality of near miss, not just the quantity. It's probably even more important than just the quantity. And also, just a little, luckily when I made this slide, I can happy to say, yes, we had no accidents since 1.5 years. So it's very good for us. Our last accident was 1.5 years ago, which is if you're more than 3 days out of work. Next one is overall equipment efficiency, OEE. Also, when I look back the last 3 years, basically, we didn't have any lean tools or nothing to do with continuous improvement. Then we had our OEP program from Imperial. Very high pressure, very tight deadlines, big focus from group, and you do see quite a big increase of about 10% in these 9 months, followed by a phase of stability, So about 10 months of stability, which again you can see it did go down first after the program, but now it went back. But over the period it was basically stable. And then what happened when we implemented MBU? It started slowly, but we don't give any targets. We say to the MBU, no, you set the target, but you should stretch, get higher, get higher. And suddenly you see actually it's very sustainable. So I have like more than 5% improvement since we started MBU without any real pressure. This one was very, very top down, very hardcore. You have to implement a lot of focus. This one, when you start MBU, is actually everybody sets their own target. You kind of agree, of course, together. If they say, oh, I want to stay flat, then you ask them, do you really want to stay flat, or don't you want to improve over time? Then, oh, okay. So how can you improve? So it's a progress between two sides. But I don't tell them you have to improve by 5% your productivity. No, it's not working that way. Actually, the team takes the ownership. Oops. For Maker also, because our packer is to produce the cigarettes, our Maker produces cigarettes. We are currently detached, so not like other factories where you combine the Maker and packer. So for us, it's also very important to measure the Maker equipment. And exactly the same picture. Very first, high port increased. Then afterward, actually went back in the 10 months of sustainability. And once we started MBU, see it's a perfect trend. What a nice continuous improvement. And again, no pressure, just by the MBU concept to see how do you improve. So again, another 5% improvement, which is very, very good. Best part actually is ideas. Because before, for example, last, what we call fiscal year, 2015-16, I had 110 ideas of all my 180 people. So maybe one person had one idea over the whole year. What happened is then we started MBU, and suddenly you see it's amazing how much ideas they generate. And they can be small ideas. It doesn't have to be a big idea. So basically I had, this is still August, 1,700 ideas already. And what we say is you have to classify them. So are they to improve speed, quality, people, safety? Not just a generous idea, but to say no, what you actually can improve of your KPIs, of your MBU. So we have the best idea. So what we do is, okay, you have to present your best idea in the multi-level meeting. And then myself and my factory management team, we choose the best idea and give them a very nice price at the multi-level meeting.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sure.
How many of those ideas are implemented, and how do you measure that?
So what we do is we have implemented ideas. Actually, these are implemented ideas. So the ideas submitted is about 1,800. So it's quite close. So we have our internal target to implement 80% of ideas. Some ideas you need to do some investments, or it's very complicated, or as you said, maybe it was a good idea, but it's not very practical. But what we do see is actually the ideas submitted, I would say 90% can be implemented. So these ideas in the end are small ideas but realistic. So if they say, oh, can we build a new building and have another machinery, we already tell them, yes, you can put this idea in, but it might take 2 or 3 years, So we try to get the thinking, any small idea you can do is perfect. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Good. Yeah. Waste, exactly the same. So this is non-tobacco waste, NTM. OEP, again, 10% reduction, then another one. This trend continues, but continues even faster than before. So you see another 20% reduction of NTMs, also driven by MBU, but also by root cause analysis. How do you solve problem? Do you have new ideas how to reduce waste? So it's all coming together actually in the MBU. Again, fantastic result. We started with 2.1%, now down almost half of our NTM. So it's a superb achievement, I have to say. 5S, another hot topic we just started this year. I think most of you know what 5S is, but basically it means clean order access. You avoid any wastes. we started with a model workshop. So this is actually our engineering workshop. So when our CI consultant, Mr. Singh, came, he said, I want to have the worst area possible in the factory. So we looked through and said, engineering workshop. It was very messy. And then we did this, and I think over the last few months, an amazing transformation. So when you walk in now, and then when our regional boss Slavek came, he said like, whoa, this looks fantastic, because every single item, you know, is on a shadow board. It's very nice and clean, it's labeled. So I think I have a few examples there. So before, you had a box of tools, everything inside, and now actually they made a shadow board. They put every single item in, so very easy to take off and put back. So it's fantastic. Another one, the famous cupboards. When you open them, you know, a lot of stuff everywhere, you know, cables, nuts. And after that, fantastic, you know, very nicely labeled. You can see it. Basically, you save time because you can take your items. Challenges. Yes, it all sounds nice so far, but I don't want to hide the challenges. First thing is you have to continue giving them feedback, because if you don't come and support them, you see the standards are slowly slipping. So you need some continuous support. Service level agreement is also a bit tricky. This might be an Asian program or a Laos problem, because in Europe you can openly say criticism, you know, you promised me in 1 hour to repair, but you didn't, so I have to give you like a red tag for say, you know, you didn't fulfill your service level agreement. In Laos, they hate to give, you know, like criticism, say, oh, I want to give you like a red dot for not fulfilling. Said, oh, don't worry, no, I just give you green. So we have to teach them, no, you have to really visualize it, otherwise you cannot learn. So this is, again, maybe something specific Asian or so, but there could be some cultural context. Another one is when you get new operators, of course for them it's quite overwhelming, especially like temporary people who you literally pay on a day basis to say, oh, here you go, here's a big board, please join. So they actually do it quite well, but it's quite a challenge to make sure they integrate into the MBU teams. So the skills, I mean in Laos we do have some people who cannot read or write. Not many, but we have some. So you have to take into account this diversity. Not everybody is like super smart and knows how to do charts. So you have to keep the strengths of each team to make sure they support each other. Because, you know, diversity, they might have some other strengths somewhere else with ideas or so. Also problem solving, the RCAs, the root cause analysis. Most or sometimes I see they think they found the root cause, but the same problem happens again next day. So they didn't really address the root cause. So I still need to work on the root cause analysis with people to really understand, is it really the reason, you know, why something happened? And also our consultant, Mr. Sin, rightly said, some MBUs, everything is green. For 10 months is green, all happy elephants. That's actually not the point. The point is actually to really stretch yourself to get a stretch target. So what a lot of teams is doing is, even if there's a massive gap between target and actuals, they still keep it safe. You know, oh, keep it safe, keep it safe. So they always get green. But what we said is, don't worry about too much the green. Actually, the red, if you achieve in red, it keeps your brains flowing to come up with some ideas. So how to really improve further. And this definitely is still a challenge that everybody wants to play safe just to get no problem. But this way you can actually not learn, you know. Last few slides, I think 2 or 3. Also again, some ideas. Go outside your factory. Don't just stay in your factory. Find other industry. Find within your own network of your company. And in Imperial, I'm very lucky. I got the Lean Development Center to supporting us. Also what we call better operational practices with some ideas of other factories that are published. We also have the luxury in Laos that we have a Lean Master Coach deck based in Taiwan supporting us. And also what we call the Lighthouse, which was one of the first factories really with MBU, so very mature. Also talk with other factories. I had the safety pin event, which was like a games event 2 years ago, and we had some colleagues from Africa coming who have exactly the same machinery, and we had like an issue how to change a roller on one of our packer machine. Every time we need 2 hours to do this, and the guys from Africa said, no, I know how to do it, and he in 15 minutes changed it, and it's like, whoa, why didn't we know this? So talk with your other colleagues in all your factories. One of my favorites is the green color called other industries. So in Laos we have a beer company next to us, about 2 kilometers away from Carlsberg. So Carlsberg is a huge plant in Vientiane, 1,000 people. They're also on a lean journey, not MBU yet, but they are on something called TPM, as well as a Pepsi plant. Just establish contact with them, say, come on, learn from us. We come to you, you come to us. So what we said is the CI team basically visits us, and they were looking at the MBU and saying, whoa, fantastic. So they invited us to their plant, and you can see many same elements. You see the 5S elements. You see visual management, different type, but same kind of thinking. PDCA method, a plant visit. They have something called Lean TPM, health and safety. And again, the Pepsi plant is also very different. They're very good at 5S, whereas the beer plant is very good at visual management. So try to get out of your box, not just stay in your little factory. No, I learned a lot because it really opens your eyes. So that's why for me, fantastic to have the summit, just to get some ideas about other MBUs, because you can take it home and implement it at your factory. One of our slides also for CDI, a thank you for CDI, because Mr. Sen is our consultant for Asia, and definitely for Asian context and Asian environment, fantastic, because he knows exactly about feedback communication. So if some people say, oh, it goes too fast for us, can we slow down? Mr. Sen, no, I have to achieve my point. He's actually very flexible to say, okay, let's do a repeat session, or let's go slower, or let's adjust to cultural context. So definitely very, very useful, and also kind of definitely required. I know in Imperial we have like a cultural war between in-house consultant versus external consultant, but my own view is definitely you need some external person first, probably for some years, to really assess you where you are, because you need the certain standards to benchmark you. You can try to do it in-house, and I hope of Imperial, of course, we do get some experts over the years, but if you don't have many years of experience, no way. So I definitely have to support CDI to say, very professional, very good, and I'm very happy with the performance. And the results also speaking for themselves. So you are invited to visit me in Laos to see by yourself. I say one of our guys, Darren, another lean champion, will actually do come in 2 months' time. But definitely works, and I hope it will work also in Europe. So, unleash your team's potential. They're all very smart, they have ideas, they have brains. Don't waste them. You're like a big family. Once you extract the best part, it will be fantastic. You achieve definitely very good results. Thank you very much.